Good morning, students! It's every one of you are good today? Wow, I'm happy to hear that, class. Okay, before we proceed to our next lesson, let's exercise your mind first. In this game, I will group you into 4 groups, and all you need to do is to raise your hand if you know the answer. And to those groups who got a high score, have a prize, of course. And to those loser, that is okay. You just try again to our game next meeting. So this game is called Spelling Word. Are you ready, class? Okay. For our first word, can someone spell the word sample space? Group 1. Very good. For our second word, can someone spell the word event? Group 4? Great job! And our next word is, can someone spell the word probability? Group 3. Very good! And for our last word, can someone spell the word outcome? Okay, group 1? Very good. So the group who got the high score is the group 1. Clap your hands, class. Okay, based on our game, are you familiar to those words you heard? Oh, it's okay because today I will discuss them one by one for you to understand. For today's lesson, we will be discuss about the probability of simple events. For our learning objectives, first, determine whether the probability of an event is certain, likely, unlikely, or impossible. Second, express appreciation on the importance of probability in real life. And lastly, find the probability of simple events. When we discuss the likelihood an event happening in everyday life, we may use some common words to describe this likelihood. For example is certain, likely, unlikely, or impossible. Example is, the weather forecast said that the probability that it will rain today is 75%. Does it mean that there is a great chance that it will rain today? To answer the question, first, we need to know the concepts of probability. But first, let's define what is probability. The probability is used to describe how likely or unlikely it is that something will happen. So the value of probability starts to 0 to 1. Probability may be given in a fraction, decimal, or present. 0 in probability means impossible to happen, while 1, which is 100%, means the event is certain to happen. How about 1/2? So, while 1/2 or 50% means an event is either as unlikely or as likely to happen. The event between 0 to 1/2 is unlikely to happen. Like for example, if the event is 1/4, 0.25 or 25% means the likelihood of the event is unlikely to happen. And if the event is 3/4, 0.75 or 75% means the likelihood of the event is likely to happen since it is between 1/2 to 1. Very good. Okay, and we can also be guided with a formula. We still remember this. Probability of event is equal to the number of favorable outcomes divided by the total of possible outcomes. So this formula helps us to determine the probability of every simple events. Now, let's go back to our example to know the answer. Let's use the probability line to determine the chance if it will rain today. Since the forecaster said 75%, so we can see that 75% is between 2, 1/2, and 1. This means that the event that it will rain today is likely to happen. Great job, class! Okay, class. For this example, let's determine the probability of the following event using our probability line. First, it will snow tomorrow in the Philippines. What is the probability of this event? We all know that there is only 2 seasons in the Philippines, which is dry and rainy season. It means that there is 0 or it is impossible to snow in the Philippines. Good job. Second example is the sun will rise tomorrow. What is the probability? Okay, since sun rises every day in the morning, it means that there is 100% probability or it is certain that the sun will rise tomorrow. For our third, the likelihood that 2 people in everyday group of 15 will have the same birthday is 8%. Since 8% is close or between 0 to 25%, therefore the event is unlikely to happen. Good job, class! And for our last example, sports analyst says that Manny Pacquiao has 85% of winning. Since 85% is close and between to 75% to 100%, therefore the event is likely to happen. Great job, class! Now let's have another example for you to understand our lesson for today. Next, what is the probability of not picking yellow cube out of the box? Since in event said not picking yellow, so means you can pick the other color. So our favorable outcomes is 4 because we have 2 brown and 2 red. So yellow is not belong, right? So for our favorable outcomes divided by the possible outcomes. So how many possible outcomes we have? We have 5. Why? Because we have 2 brown, 2 red, and 1 yellow. Total of 5. So in the probability fraction form is 4/5. So when we convert this in decimal, we got 0.80 or 80%. So it means 80% it is likely to not pick a yellow out of the box. Because 80% is between 75% to 100%. Great job, class! For our third example is, what is the probability of picking a green cube out of the box? Class, is there a green cube on the box? Since none, means our favorable outcomes is 0. Divided by the total of possible outcomes. How many possible outcomes we have? 5. Why? Because we have 2 brown, 2 red, and 1 yellow. The total of 5. So, in probability fraction form, we have 0/5 or 0%. So, 0% means it is impossible to pick a green out of the box. Did you get it, class? Very good. Now, let's proceed to our next example This time we have a spinner with number 1 to 6. Let's determine the probability of landing on 3 or 5. Using the formula, let's find the number or favorable outcomes divided by the total possible outcomes. So, we are looking 3, 4, and 5. And since we have only 3 and 1, 5, it means that we have 2 favorable outcomes divided by the total possible outcomes. Here, the sample space or the list of total number of possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Therefore, it means that we have 6 possible outcomes. Now, in fraction form, the probability is 2/6. Remember, like fraction, we need to simplify this in lowest term. Let's divide this by greatest common fraction, which is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Very good. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. Therefore, the probability in fraction form is 1/3. So, when we convert this in decimal, we got 0.33 or 33%. So, when we look this in probability line, so the 33% is between 0% and 50%. Therefore, it is unlikely to happen. So, great job, class! Next, our last example is what is the probability of landing on 7? Since there is no 7 in spinner, our favorable outcomes is 0. And again, our total of possible outcomes is 6. Our probability fraction form is 0/6. To convert in decimal, we can get 0%. Means 0% means that is impossible to landing on 7 or impossible to happen. Very good. Class? Class, what I am doing? Very good, I am tossing a coin. Do you know, class, that you can also find the probability of the outcomes in tossing a coin? Oh, it's okay. I'll teach you. Do you have a coin in your pocket? If yes, let's examine it. What does it consist? Yes, that's right. The coin consists a head and tail. Class, I have a coin here. Let's toss the coin together. What is your result? Okay, let me show your mind. Oh, I got a head. Now, let's find the probability of getting a head. Since we have only one head, our favorable outcome is 1. And divided by the total of possible outcomes. For the sample space or total numbers of outcomes, we have 1 head and 1 tail. Means we have 2 possible outcomes. Now, in probability fraction form, we got 1/2. To convert this in decimal point, we can get 0.50 or 50%. To look in probability line, the 50% is likely or as likely to happen. Good job, class! Now, class, do you understand our lesson for today? Very good. So, what topic we discuss? The probability of simple events. So, As a recap, probability is a branch of mathematics that deals with uncertainty. It is a measure or estimation how likely it is that an event will occur. Probability can range in from 0 to 1, where 0 means the event to be an impossible, and 1 indicates a certain event. So, while 1/2, it's either likely or unlikely to happen. And the event between 0 or 1/2 means unlikely to happen. And the event between 1/2 to 1 means the event is likely to happen. So always remember, class, the application of probability in our daily life is we can apply the concept of probability in making our decision. Okay, class, today we will be having a group activity to know if you understand the topic we discussed a while ago. Okay, so I will group you into 4 groups. And later, I will give the situations and 1 question per group. So, our situation is, Nikki and JC is having a ballpen giveaway. They put all the ballpen sharples in a paper bag. Their classmates chooses a 1 ballpen without looking at the color. Inside the paper bag, there are 4 orange, 5 blue, 6 green, and 5 pink ballpen. Again, for our situation, Nikki and JC is having a ballpen giveaway. They put all the ballpen sharples in a paper bag. Their classmate chooses a ballpen without looking at the color. Inside the paper bag, there are 4 orange, 5 blue, 6 green, and 5 pink. For the questions of every group, this. For the group 1, if Marie chooses 1 ballpen at random, what is the probability that she will choose an orange ballpen? For the group 2, if John chooses 1 ballpen at random, what is the probability that he will choose a blue ballpen? Did you get it, group 2? Okay, for the group 3, if Carl chooses 1 ballpen at random, what is the probability that he will choose a green ballpen? And for the group 4, listen, if she chooses 1 ballpen at random, what is the probability that she will choose a pink ballpen? Okay, class, I will give you 10 minutes to answer. After you answer, please choose 1 representative to dictate or to explain your answer. Okay, class, your time starts now. Are you done, class? Okay, very good, class. I'm so happy that you really understand our lesson for today. All of you and all of your answer is correct and the explanation is very good. After this, we'll be having a short quiz. Please bring out 1 whole sheet of paper. This is our quiz. For directions, read carefully and solve the following question below and write your answer on the space provided. For the A, define what is probability. This is 4 points. And for the B, see my probability. So we have 5 questions. So class, I'll give you 10 minutes to answer and finish your quiz. Okay, your time starts now. Are you done, class? Okay, if you are done, please submit your paper forward. Okay? Okay. Thank you. For your assignment, list down at least one situation from your experience where you wonder for a probability of a certain or impossible to happen. And second, study in advance our next lesson for tomorrow. That's it for today, class. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy our lesson for today and the activity. Thank you for listening, and see you on our next meeting. Bye!